What's going on in Australia with this tour and Charles and Camilla is absolutely staged. 100% staged. The Lydia Thorpe, who's a fucking moron, a paid shill in Parliament to be the representative of the Indigenous or the Aboriginals in Australia, or the First People. She's meant to be representative of them in Parliament, and she's constantly a paid shill. She was pro-UN native title, pro the voice referendum last year. She is a shill that works for the Crown. She is not any different to the monarchy. She is paid by them. She's employed by them. She wouldn't have a job if she wasn't, seeing that we're run by the Crown, so it doesn't really make any sense. And here she is being an absolute moron to push anti-republic in Australia, to push pro-monarchists or monarchy. You'll see this. Oh, hold on. I don't even know you should see it. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. For one, she has no argument. So she's not saying the land's been stolen. She's not saying what the monarchy has actually done via Rio Tinto or anything like that, or the Second Boer War, or anything that has actually happened that they have impacted our lives. She hasn't said anything like that. She hasn't even talked about what the when we were colonized, what happened to the Aboriginals or anything. She hasn't said anything, because this is a staging. This is an obvious staging. It was just, this makes sense now with his whole, I don't care, the Charles going, I don't care if Australia wants a republic. If they want it, so be it, I'm merciful and I'm a good guy. And then you've got this happening straight after to combat or to put basically a counterclaim through that we're embarrassed, ashamed, and we're loyal to the monarchy. It's just PR shit. And then you've got on top of it, why is that there? You've got this. Anyway, you catch my drift. Dan Wooden, the paid brown noser, is now saying that dashing Prime Minister Albo's Republican hopes. I didn't even know Albo had a Republican hope. He's working for the Crown. It's just staging. It's just bullshit. This is not even to protect and defend Australians' voices and rights. Our rights have been sold. Our rights are owned. Our voices are owned. And this is why I'm doing a video today, because I've had it. I've fucking had it with these two psyops playing out, and then the PR just rubbing it in our faces that this is Australia. This is not Australia. It's a complete psyop. It's completely fake. This is not Australia at all. This is bullshit. And if Australians knew that the monarchy had committed treason through political interference, if all of the Australians knew that they had paid for policy change of our misinformation bill that is still being reintroduced now, if they knew that there had been treason committed, it would be a very different story. But that's been silenced over a year. This is how much they control our lives and our voices and our livelihoods and our existence. I put out that video over a year ago. So I put up a post. I'll get to it now. So this is all just absolute shit. Kind of like, a Meghan Markle tour in Australia, or like every other tour they did. Exactly the same PR strategies, exactly the same manipulations, and talking shit. Just like how much Australia loved the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. This is exactly the exact same play out. Over a year ago, I put out work about looking into the report that Todge, that Duke and Duchess of Sussex, through their US charity Archwell, paid, which is, can a charity even pay a company to then embark on policy change in a foreign country, a country that's under the Commonwealth of Nations, that's under his dukedom, that's under his rule? It's insane. It's just so insane. So you have this report that came out. I have a picture of it here. Sorry guys for the scrolling down, but there you go. I can't even remember what it was called. Anyway, it was basically a submission or a report done by Purpose Australia or Asia Pacific. Purpose is run by WEF young world leader Jeremy Hymans. He was once Australian, now he's either a dual or solo American citizen. He ran the Shell research non-for-profit agency, Reset Australia, that was actually operating under the same Shell building as Purpose. Neither of them were in the building. The building was up for rent, or the suite was up for rent in Sydney. I called the reception, the building reception. Neither organisation or company were in the building, and yet these are where they're registered at. And they both propped up, and Reset Australia has infiltrated many policy submissions, many policy influencers. They talk to every side of Parliament, of political leaders. They try to change everything around digital censorship and control. They talk to Google. They talk to, is it Meta? They talk to, which is Instagram and Facebook, isn't it? They talk to Twitter, and they're high up there, and they and then Jeremy Hyman runs also these social activism companies called Avars and stuff like that, that are about social campaigns, but really are political campaigns. It was like change.org. And, you know, the Duke of Sussex was already a part of that and helping out with that prior. And of course, you know, I know I've made connections between Jeremy Hyman's and is it World Vision? So the same marketing company that World Vision used for Meghan Markle when she was over doing her Bananatarian campaign before she became famous, which was just, you know, a part of her identity construct. And then he's also a part of, he's connected to Aspen, I'm sure of it, as well. There's always a connection with all these, this whole clique of kind of Soros, WEF, agencies and firms that are committing foreign interference in many national governments across the world. And so that was proven. If you watch the video that I've got up there of high treason, it's proven. It's a long video, yes, because it goes through all of the research and also the laws that it breaches, including high treason. At the time, I didn't know if I was hoping for the best. That at that time I was only researching the unfolding of the narrative that was really Todge and Nut. I knew at that point that the whole narrative was fake and that the royal family were involved. I couldn't understand why, and now it's a lot clearer. But when that happened, I didn't think, even if Charles was involved, the king, even if he was involved in this, which, you know, more than likely led to it, he would know this. You can't just, be busy with your own shit in UK and not know your son is infiltrating in your colonized country in Australia, in the Commonwealth. Like, it's just unheard of. You would have to know. But anyway, benefit of the doubt. There was a letter sent to him, I think November 2023. He didn't respond. He refused to act. He has still refused to act, and therefore it's treason by the King, by Charles, against Australia, against the Commonwealth, and against Parliament, British Parliament, because they're not meant to be acting politically, are they? That is the reason for the Constitution in the first place. This is not a part of the Republic movement. This is just talking about treason and deceiving Australians, and that this whole tour is a complete deception, and it's a rub in our faces after what they've done to us. And this is nothing. This is just one aspect, this political interference. I haven't gotten even into any of their companies here, especially their commodities firm, Rio Tinto. I haven't even gotten into that, which was a lobbyist. Anyway, so yeah, you've got that letter that was sent out. The king refused to do anything about it. Hasn't acted. And then after that, letters were sent to every political party or every political member that was possibly imaginable. I've been told anyway by the person that did so. And no responses, no answers, no solutions, no help, because we are not a democracy and we are not a sovereign country. We are owned by the monarchy and by the crown, and that's that. How do I get back? God. So, was it last month, the misinformation bill was reintroduced. I'll show you here. The misinformation bill, which was the bill that was involved in the report that the Duke of Sussex and Duchess of Sussex had paid for through their US charity organisation to influence our bill. That was being reintroduced in September in last month. And I tried again to be able to try to contact a political party that's here that's actually pro-Trump and that is pro-Australia, as in pro-nationalist, if that's even a thing. But they're pretending to support sovereignty and anything for Australia and Australia first, da 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 da. And I thought, well, I knew the contacts details, so I will send them a message. And I let them know through my videos. I was just blunt about it because she was like, you can, text me or whatever. I can show you here. Yeah, she was happy for me to let her know through email or a chat or a text what my information was. And so I sent her the videos of my work regarding the high treason and the interference, and then also the Aspen Institute kind of interference with Todge and everything else that's been happening around not just our governments, but American government, and the fact that the monarchy have been involved. And I sent her a message this tonight because I had had enough. It's almost been a month, and she was too busy supposedly to look at my work, but we all know what the truth of that is. It's not about the party. It's not about any of this. It's not about targeting somebody. It's about knowing that we're not a democracy and Australians' voices are not heard. Not now, not ever. So this whole Republic movement is controlled at the moment. It has nothing to do with Australia or Australians. They're not giving us a platform. And then you've got the whole tour, which is completely controlled and disgusting. It's just literally disgusting. And I wouldn't feel this way if I didn't know what I know. Like, it's just insane and just so upsetting. So, yeah. That was tonight at 5:59 p.m. Not so much for country, but for the Crown, hey? So I think, on top of comparing the actual, what reality is, this is Diana when she was in Australia at the Sydney Opera House. That's what you call a crowd. That's what you call Australians being supportive. Not this. Not for people. And not the crowd that was like, waving little flags there that, 20 or 50 people. No way. I don't know about any of the Australian Republic movements or the Republic movements in UK. It's weird that they don't have any actual Australians talking, speaking on behalf of Australia, to represent Australia. Even just the news. You don't even have to have a Republic movement. This should just be news, right? This should just be the truth and information. Real journalism. Real investigations. Nope. Now, I have also, other than those letters and everything else, I have tagged the royal family in social media posts. Of course, I don't expect them to respond, but it's not like they don't know about the information, especially when Barkjack last year was voicing that they're monitoring social media ceaselessly, that they're monitoring under a so-called investigation. So why they can't just act? Well, obviously it's intentional. And again, I have tagged them in this. This is an open discourse. This is an open post, as I always try to promote. So this was my post last year, because I was talking about the online safety bill becoming law in UK legislation, but at the same time, Barkjack was talking about an investigation that the royal family were monitoring, well, not them directly, but whoever works for them were monitoring the social media under a so-called investigation, which I found rather strange, considering Barkjack could publish it and then try to interfere in it as well. Yeah, so when was that? October 7th, 2023. I think more than anything, I want you to know that this is in Australia. This is a setup. This is in Australia. This is a setup. This is Australia, where we do not have a voice, where we are not sovereign. It is as simple as that, and we can't protect ourselves against treason and foreign interference.